Welcome to your English news broadcast. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time, reporting to you live from our headquarters at the capital, Asmara, with your domestic and international top stories. I'm Zahra Badouri, but first we'll begin with your major headlines for this broadcast. An announcement from the Ministry of Health. Financial contribution by diaspora nationals. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian Vladimir Putin held a phone call conversation. China's service trade volume reached 501.4 billion yen. Welcome to your domestic in brief. 2 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 in tests carried out today at quarantine stations in the central region. On the other hand, 6 patients who have been receiving medical treatment in hospitals in the Ansaba 4, Gashbarka 2 regions have recovered fully and have been discharged from these facilities. The total number of recovered patients has accordingly increased to 9,593, while the number of deaths stands at 103. The total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 9,700. Ministry of Health, Asmara, 26 February 2022. Eritrean nationals in the UK and Ireland contributed £163,043 in support of families of martyrs and augmenting the National Trust Fund. According to the Ministry of Labour and Social Welfare, £94,558 was contributed in support of families of martyrs and £68,484 towards augmenting the National Trust Fund. The Central Region Assembly held its 20th regular meeting on 25th February at the Asmara Municipality Hall under the theme, in quotation, "Let's strengthen our all-rounded resilience." At the meeting, in which heads of the regional administration, PFDJ, national associations, line ministries, as well as administrators of subzones took part, the chairman of the Regional Assembly, Mr. Abraham Samara, said that the Assembly has been exerting strong effort to implement the recommendation and resolution adopted at the 19th regular meeting of the Regional Assembly, and called on the members of the Assembly to strengthen participation in the national affairs. Mr. Abraham also called on the public to reinforce participation in water and soil conservation activities, renovation of roads, micro dams, as well as in agricultural activities with a view to boost agricultural production and ensure food security. According to reports presented at the meeting, commendable effort has been conducted to enhance supply of vegetables and fruits to market, as well as potable water to the public. The members of the Assembly conducted extensive discussion on the reports presented and adopted various recommendations, including for proper follow-up of the implementation of guidelines to control the spread of COVID-19 pandemic and revising the cost of fuel, electricity, and telephones. Speaking at the occasion, the governor of the Central Region, Mr. Fissahaye Haile, expressed readiness to the regional administration to stand alongside the Regional Assembly in all its endeavours. On your final domestic, the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students branch in the southern Red Sea region provided a FEMA award to outstanding students in Eritrea subzone that scored higher marks in the 8th grade national examination. The awardees were 25 students from the Tiro High School that scored over 75 marks in the national examination, and the award including textbooks and other school materials. The head of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students branch in the region, Mr. Osman Abdul Qadir, said that the objective of the award is to encourage students become competitive in their academic performances and follow students to follow their example, indicating that the union branch will exert a strong effort with partners to develop the competence and creativity of students. Mr. Osman Abdul Qadir called on these students to take advantage of the opportunity being provided as well. Stay tuned for your news on the international line after this short interval for more. And on your reports on the international line, says Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a phone conversation on Friday afternoon. President Xi thanked President Putin once again for coming to China to attend the opening ceremony of the Beijing Olympic Winter Games and congratulated Russian athletes on winning the second largest number of medals. President Putin extended warm congratulations to all the Chinese people on the success of the Olympic Winter Games and the excellent performance of the Chinese sports delegation. The two presidents exchanged views with a focus on the current situation in Ukraine. President Putin, however, set forth the historical context of the Ukrainian issue, Russia's special military operation in eastern Ukraine, and its position. He noted that the United States and NATO have long turned a blind eye to Russia's legitimate security concerns and have repeatedly negated their promises to Russia. Their continued military deployment eastwards has challenged Russia's strategic red line. He also expressed Russia's willingness to have high-level negotiation with Ukraine. Xi, however, pointed out that the recent dramatic changes in the situation in eastern Ukraine have drawn great attention from the international community. China determines its position based on the merits of the Ukraine issue itself. It is important to reject Cold War mentality, take seriously and respect the reasonable security concerns of all the countries and reach a balanced, effective and sustainable European security mechanism through negotiation. China supports Russia in resolving the issue through negotiation with Ukraine. China has long held the basic position of respecting all countries' sovereignties and territorial integrity and abiding by the prosperous of the principles of the UN Charter. China, however, is preparing to work with other members of the international community to promote common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security and to resolve and resolutely safeguard the UN-centered international system and the international order underpinned by international law. On your second international, China's service trade volume reached 501.4 billion yen, equaling around $79.4 billion in January, up to 37% year-on-year, according to data released by the State Administration of Regional and Foreign Exchange on Friday. During the month, China registered 230 billion yen worth of services export and 271.3 billion yen worth of imports with a trade deficit of 41.3 billion yen. Specifically, trade volume of transportation services and tourism services reached 194.8 billion yen and 83.6 billion yen, respectively. Trade volume of telecommunications, computers and information services totaled about 54.7 billion yen. Trade volumes, however, on the other commercial service stood at 89.2 billion yen. On your final report, people injured in a 6.1 magnitude earthquake in Indonesia were rushed to a hospital on Friday, February the 25th. The tremor, which struck inland near the western coast of Indonesia, Sumatra Island, killed at least 2 people and was felt in neighboring Singapore and Malaysia, officials in witness said. The quake, which did not have the potential to cause a tsunami, caused residents to flee buildings in some areas, including in their city of Padang in western Sumatra province, and even triggered evacuation in the country, Malaysia. Indonesia suffers frequent earthquakes straddling the so-called Pacific Ring of Fire, a highly seismically active zone where different plates on the Earth crust meet. The fault along Sumatra Island can be particularly dangerous, and in 2009, an earthquake devastated part of Padang and killed more than 1,000 people. Dear viewers, that is all for now with your domestic and international top stories, and in brief, until we are back with some more news, stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. But these are your major headlines in review for this broadcast. An announcement from the Ministry of Health as your primary domestic. Financial contribution by diaspora nationals. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin held a phone conversation as your primary international. China's service trade volume reached 501.4 billion yen, and more of your reports in both. That is all for now. Have a nice one.